Are you trying to dominate your fantasy football league? Do you want so many championship rings, it's impossible to sign autographs? Well, crack open a beer, pour yourself a glass of bourbon, and settle in, because you've come to the right place. Welcome to HammerCast. We're here to talk all things football, barbecue, bourbon, and beer. Here are your hosts, Kenneth Smith, David Stidham, and Chad Taylor. It's time to grind.
Hey, welcome back to the HammerCast Network. I'm your host, Kenneth Smith, and I am joined again today by my good friends, Chad Taylor and David Stidham. Dave is Mr. Hammerjack, and Chad is Mr. Sledgehammer. As always, guys, how we doing?
Oh, we're rocking. Ready to roll.
You're rocking and ready to roll?
Doing good, man. I'm excited about the episode tonight. We've been bringing some good content, and I think we got a really good show again tonight for everyone.
Yeah, I think so too. I really enjoy diving into these to the rookies because there's not a lot of history behind them. In fact, there's zero in the NFL, so it's fun to talk about. And in dynasty leagues, we are drafting rookies either sometimes combined with the veterans, and sometimes we're doing rookie drafts by themselves. And I think it's a lot of value to look into for where you should be drafting these guys, what we should expect from them. And Cam Akers is one that, as we all know, he was going in as a top 5, right, David? Coming in?
I love Cam Akers, and I'm going to get into him. And, I mean, people follow me on Twitter. They see that I already ranked him number 2 of all the rookie running backs, and I'm going to talk about why. And I'm going to talk about why I have him over guys like Dobbins and Swift and even CEH. And so I'm going to probably shake things up a little bit when I talk about him today.
Yeah, well, that makes me squiggle in my chair a little bit when you talk about him over CEH. We'll talk about it. This one's going to be a fun one, guys. What are you drinking on, boys?
Well, for me,
yeah, we can talk about it.
The old standby.
Oh, no, that's not your old standby. That's just the best one.
It's the Great American Bourbon, Jack Daniels.
Well, and it's from my home state and Chad's home state right here in Tennessee.
Actually, it's Tennessee whiskey, but it's Jack Daniels.
You know what? We're going to talk about what makes Tennessee whiskey, other than being from Tennessee on another episode. Chad, what do you got?
I'm doing a little Sailor Jerry's and a splash of Coke. So I'm switching it up tonight. I'm usually the guy that brings the beer to you guys, and tonight I'm feeling a little spice rum.
Hey,
I'm gonna have beer on the next pod. I'm doing beer.
Cool.
Okay, sounds good. I'm doing guys. Y'all know my favorite is rum, and once I found the Captain Morgan private stock, like, I don't know, it's just what I like the best.
You're married.
I'm married.
You're married.
I thought about trying another one, and I will. I promise I will. But anyway, hey, guys, let's get right into Cam Akers and get our listeners right up to speed with what we think. And sorry, fellas, I've got somebody else that wants to be have a guest appearance. But
it's cool.
It's cool. Hey, it is what it is, man. With this coronavirus, we're doing this stuff from remote locations, and every now and then you get a stray poodle that runs in. Anyway, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about Cam Akers.
Yeah, okay, great. First and foremost, I led the show with the fact that how much I really like Cam Akers. I've been following Cam Akers since he was in high school. Being from the South, we really pay attention to a lot of recruiting, and we listen to a lot of recruiting shows. And Cam Akers, a Mississippi boy, played Clinton High School. And I'm going to talk a little bit about his high school stats. And typically we don't go this far and we don't go this deep, but I really want to build the story on Cam Akers and just how special he is and why I have him ranked where I have him. First and foremost, what a lot of people, obviously everybody knows, he was a 5-star recruit. He was one of the most talked about running backs going into college, and he was recruited by everybody. As a matter of fact, he had formal offers from Alabama, which he was actually, people don't realize this, he actually committed to Alabama with Najee Harris.
No, I didn't.
And then he changed it to Florida State, but he had offers from Alabama, Ohio State, Tennessee, Georgia, LSU, Florida. I mean, the list goes on and on. That's how good and how special this guy is.
Well,
not only as an athlete.
Hey, the only reason he wasn't offered by every college in the country was because they knew they couldn't get him. Because otherwise, literally, they would have sent him an offer.
Absolutely, yeah. I
this
mean,
kid
all
is
your
special.
He's in there.
I mean, obviously, when you think about some of these small towns, the best athlete plays every position. And you always can tell when you watch the high school game, the best athlete on the field. Well, no matter where he went, he was the best athlete on the field. And people knew this from a very ripe age. Excuse me. And so, the 20 scholarship official formal offers. I mean, but here's the cool thing. I'm going to go over a little bit of his statistics from high school, and we're going to get right into this thing.
Right.
He had 5,103 rushing yards, averaging 7 yards per carry, and 71 touchdowns in high school. Now, I know a lot of people can ring up some really big numbers in high school, but those are tremendous numbers. But here's the shocker. You ready for this?
Yeah.
He had 8,140 passing yards because he played quarterback too. And so he had 8,140 passing yards and 78 passing touchdowns.
Think about that.
So let's break it down. As a high school player, he had 13,243 yards passing and rushing and 149 touchdowns. Okay, and he also played some defense. He had multiple return interceptions for touchdowns that he ran back himself. He was a stud of all studs, and he has the build, the pedigree, the speed, the shiftiness, the strength. He has all those things, which that's why they made him a 5-star recruit, the number 2 ranked running back in all of college football, and he was the secret weapon. The fact that he can play quarterback. And by the way, in one season, he had, I think it was 40-something touchdowns and only 6 interceptions, or 31 touchdowns and 6 interceptions on 3,000 yards passing. And so the guy's accurate, he's smart, and he's efficient. And so I really believe that he's a faster, more athletic CEH. And I'm going out on a limb, and that's what I'm saying.
David, are we going? All right.
Here we go. Yeah.
All right.
Well, look at his measurables. Player profiler, okay?
Right.
He's 5'10", 217. He's actually bigger.
Yep.
He ran a 4.47. That's faster. So he had a higher 40. He had a higher speed score. He was in the 89th percentile. He had 20 reps on the 225 bench press. He's second-round draft capital. Not too far. He was second round. I know CEH got that 32nd pick in the first round.
Second-round draft.
But listen to this. His Dominator rating was 39.8. Okay, that's right below elite, right there with Jonathan Taylor. And his team target share for receptions was over 10%. And so this guy has soft hands. He catches the ball. He throws the ball. He runs with the ball. He does everything well. And so he goes to Florida State, where he breaks all kinds of records. As a matter of fact, he's only the 3rd back in Florida State history to have multiple 1,000-yard seasons. Only Dalvin Cook and Warwick Dunn have done that.
Yep.
He set freshman records. And so when you think about also in 2016, he was named a Gatorade National Player of the Year in high school. Listen to this. He had 3,128 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, and 2,105 rushing yards with 34 touchdowns as a high schooler in one season.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can think about the athleticism this kid has. And so I've kind of said a whole lot here about his high school and then going into his college stats.
I know you're all excited about it.
I know. I'm pumped up about this guy.
I get it. There's a lot to be excited about as Florida State recruiting this guy and getting him on your team. But what I want to know is, how's he going to help my fantasy football team? Like, I got no doubt that this guy's a badass. And, he's a great athlete. So I guess here's where I'm going, Dave, is because it's hard for me, okay? And you've done more research on him than I have. It's hard for me because Florida State, you're going to talk about this, but they weren't very good last year, right? So I'm trying to decide. I'm trying to decide. Okay, is he that good? It's just, I don't know.
Well,
I think a lot of people are thinking like I am. Like, I can't decide if he's really that good, or what would he have been like for example, what if he would have been at Wisconsin, or what would he have been
Alabama, or
like
Ohio
at
State, or LSU, or all these other
Alabama?
colleges that begged him to come?
So would he have been the number one running back taken?
Very well could have. And I think if you look at, I mean, if you all you really have to do is look at, I mean, the consistency season over season, especially starting with his freshman year. I mean, this guy balled out as a freshman. Like, I mean, he put out some massive yardage as a freshman.
Well, he had 1,024 yards. He
had,
averaged over 5 yards a carry as a freshman.
I know. And he had a slight dip, in his sophomore year, but last year, again, huge numbers. I mean, career, average yards per rush was 5, guys. Like, I mean, and that's with a terrible team. Sorry, Dave. But I mean, I know you're Knowles guy, but like, if this guy wasn't hidden behind such a poorly performing team in the middle of coaching changes and just a mess, it's just a mess. If he wasn't involved in that situation, I have no doubt in my mind he would have been higher value going into the draft. My 2 cents.
And you said it. You said coaching changes. You said offensive changes. The offensive line was technically last year ranked 129th out of 130. And here's the interesting thing: when Dalvin Cook and Warwick Dunn set all the records they set, they both had top 10 offensive lines.
Well, and Dalvin
think
Cook
about that.
Had,
you go from 2
years.
running backs with top 10 offensive lines to a guy with the absolute worst offensive line matching those numbers, if not beating them their most numbers.
Well,
and
here's something played for 4 years also, by the way.
Right.
So we're also taking which Cam Akers took over for Dalvin Cook, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They do have some history of putting out some good running backs, and but I don't know. I got mixed feelings about it. Convince me. Try to convince me.
I'll give you one thing, Dave, if you'll allow me. I think that there's a reason why the Rams spent their first pick in the draft on this guy. They saw exactly how he was able to perform with a subpar offensive line in a mess of a situation and still perform. And I don't know if everybody's aware. Exactly. Their offensive line,
I think.
Yeah, their offensive line is terrible too. So, like, if you're gonna,
they're like perfect.
I'm glad you bring. Yeah, he's going to fit right in.
Yeah.
I'm glad you bring that up because Pro Football Focus, which a lot of fantasy folks out there rely on, PFF, they named Akers as the most elusive rookie running back in the class. And here's something interesting: Cam Akers forced a missed tackle on 32% of all of his touches. Okay, he averaged 4 yards per carry after first contact. And then here's the really cool metric: 904 of the 1,144 yards he had last year behind the worst offensive line in football came after contact. And so this guy knows how to get it done. He doesn't go down when he gets hit, and he has a nose for the end zone. And so Bucky Brooks, the writer, he said is absolutely a perfect match for the Rams for McVay's offense. As a matter of fact, he said that that zone-based running scheme that they like to run is perfect because he's a one-cut power runner that has the ability to great body control, balance, and burst. And they think he's going to easily become a household name for these young running backs. And I agree with him. And you look back at McVay's offense with Todd Gurley, even last year. Gurley had 223 carries. The year before that, 256 carries. The year before that, he had 279 carries, 239 carries. All those carries is a bell cow. Now, I'm not saying that Akers is going to get that many carries right out of the gate. He may platoon a little bit with Darrell Henderson. But Gurley also had 31 catches last year, but the year before that, 59, 64, 43, all receptions, much more targets. And so my projection for Cam Akers, because I do believe he's a far superior athlete than Darrell Henderson, and I think he's got the bell cow, attributes that you want, and that's why they made him their first draft pick. I think people are sleeping on him. He's my number 2 running back by far. As a matter of fact, I'm going to jump right into this. I'm going to give you my shot take right now and give you my projection for Cam Akers.
All right, let's take a breather.
You ready for it?
No. Well, let's take a breather. Hey, no rush here.
He's ready.
Dave is like pissed off about this.
Guys, you know how I feel about Jonathan Taylor, and Jonathan Taylor is my number 1.
Yeah.
But Cam Akers is a solid number 2. And like I said, I have him ahead of all the other guys for a reason.
Yeah.
All right.
And you know what? And all the guys that know me, I've been saying this. I've been beating this drum since last year.
Yeah.
Because I know what this guy can do. I know how talented he is. He has the measurables. He has the metrics. He has all he has everything. But here's my shot take. It's my projection. My projection for him is 195 rushes, which is very reasonable. Okay. That's significantly less than what Gurley got last year, which was his lowest year. Okay. So 195 rushes at his 4.8 yards per carry is 926 yards. 926 yards, 8 touchdowns. Last year's Gurley had 12 touchdowns. 42 receptions, 348 yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns at a full point PPR. That gives him 235 points, good enough for RB12, which makes him an RB1 this year. That's where I got him.
Kenneth's not sold.
Book it.
Book it.
And you know what? That number is conservative compared to what Gurley was getting. And I think he's a better athlete now than what Gurley is, obviously, with his knee situation.
Yeah, I think
Gurley's healthy.
It sounds like you hope so because you have so many shares of him. But I mean, I think Dave is.
Or I want to pump him up because I want to trade him, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I think Dave is doing a little discounting there because I think he does understand that there probably is going to be, at least in this rookie season, there is going to be some platooning. Henderson is going to get some action in this offense, and we spoke briefly about the offensive line, and there's going to be some challenges there. I don't know that I have him quite as high as Dave, but I think I'm going to speak to our listeners directly here for a moment. If he doesn't have to land where Dave's saying, right? I mean, if you look where this guy's being projected and valued at right now, even if he even comes even remotely close to that, you're still getting value in this pick. Everybody, all the hype right now, you're hearing, Jonathan Taylor, you're hearing CEH, you're hearing Dobbins, you're hearing Swift. Cam Akers.
You're hearing Keyshawn Vaughn over.
Cam Akers has the potential to outperform every one of those guys. And so every one of those guys he can outperform, and he is being faded. And in my opinion, I may not agree that he's going to finish top 12. I think he can. And I think the reason that you would want to consider him, and he's a high value pick, is because of that potential and that you can get that value there when you do select him. So
I think
all I know is people are forgetting that McVay running backs score. McVay running backs always end up RB1s.
Y'all are out of your damn minds. First of all, Cam Akers ain't gonna get no damn passing yards.
Are you kidding me?
Is he gonna play quarterback?
Not passing. I'm sorry, receiving yards. He's going to get receiving yards.
So
yeah, you're right.
He's not going to get. But you know what? Was at passing in high school.
But you know what? Maybe McVay will throw some wildcat in there.
Yeah, maybe so. But what that shows is he was a good athlete. He's a do it all kind of guy.
Goff.
But listen, you know who the best player I personally ever saw play in high school was Jalen Hurd. He was badass.
Oh, here we go.
How high are you drafting that son of a gun? All right, that was ridiculous. I admit that was ridiculous. I admit it. Don't jump on me.
We're off the rails.
Yeah, we're off the rails. But you know what?
I already took us off the rails, but we're way off.
You're crazy. There's no way. I think you're only off by about 15 spots on where he'll end up the season.
Dude, wow. his ADP right now is running back 24, and he's being drafted in the middle of the 7th round, which I think is
in a redraft league. I think that's perfect. 24.
But you know what? I believe he's gonna outperform that by 50%. I believe he's gonna be like I said.
Nope.
And you know what? And I didn't go up. I didn't go overboard. 195 carries in a McVay offense. I'm right there. And so you know what? Even if he only finishes running back 16, 17, he's going to outperform his ADP. And I know he's going to do that. Tim McVay. the offense just does it. His RB1 just outperforms.
And Kenneth, to your question, he is going to get the goal line work.
You think so?
Absolutely.
He's
He's gonna get the early work, and you'll see Henderson picking up third down work. I believe that 100%. And like, while I may not be as high on him as Dave, I'm definitely not as off on him as you are. So like, I'll say it again. If you can get this guy around where he's being picked, you've got a very high chance that he's going to finish above that.
I'm not saying don't pick him up. I'm just saying don't plan on him being useful for you in 2020.
Yeah. If I would,
oh my God, we gotta make a wager on this one.
Yeah, and I would say
I'll do it all day long. I'll tell you what, I'll make a wager that Keyshawn Vaughn has a better season than Cam Akers.
Homer.
What do you want to bet? What do you want to bet?
Let's bet. I'll tell you what. I'll bet. I'll pay for you a trip to Nashville. Okay. And if
does that include staying at your bed and breakfast?
I'll pay for you a trip to Nashville. I'll get you a hotel, and I'll pay for your whole weekend. Okay. That means,
Chad, you know what this means, don't you?
Yeah, it's expensive.
I'm staying on his couch with a fitted sheet as a blanket and a rolled up pair of jeans as my pillow.
Right. As your bed
but
mate.
If I win, you pay for me to go to the draft in Indianapolis next year, or not the draft, but the combine.
Well, you can come to Indiana. Yeah, we're gonna have. Actually, you let the cat out of the bag. We are going to have a combine draft, a combine party next year in Indianapolis. We're gonna get together, and we're gonna do it right in Indy. We're gonna have a party out there. We're gonna attend the combine every day, and you know what? We may even give away a few advance tickets to hang out with us for that party.
I would love that. That would be fun, wouldn't it? To have
awesome.
Have a listener get together or something, or
at least we're gonna do it. I'm already planning it. I'm in Indianapolis right now, and it's all getting planned.
Love it.
That sounds awesome. Hey, by the way, I mentioned Keyshawn Vaughn, and I will stand by that. I believe Keyshawn Vaughn will have a better year than Cam Akers, fantasy wise. Did you know that Vanderbilt,
oh God,
bless their hearts, was number 128 offensive line ranked, right behind Florida?
So they were better than Florida State.
Yeah, a lot better by one spot. Isn't that interesting though? If you think about it, like two of the hot running backs coming out played for the worst offensive lines in college football.
Yeah,
I mean, there were people like Florida Atlantic, or I don't know, Arkansas State that were ranked way higher.
I mean, if you think about it, if you're a NFL exec and you're looking at player acquisition, wouldn't it say a lot more to you that players perform with shitty offensive lines than the ones that perform?
Yeah,
with
especially the Rams are going, we need somebody that can play behind a shitty offensive line.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, I mean, it makes sense to me. I mean, yeah.
And just remember last year, that horrible offensive line, he still had 30 catches.
Mm-hmm.
225 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. That's actually something you should have mentioned.
Yeah.
I mean, Cam Akers can do everything, and people are overlooking what he can do.
I agree.
And they're getting blinded by CEH and Jonathan Taylor, and trust me, those guys are worth it. They're great, but they're overlooking Cam Akers. He is my number 2 running back in this class, and I think he's going to have an amazing career. And I think people that are getting him as the 5th running back in the rookie class are getting a steal.
I don't hate the kid. I just hate where he's at. I just do.
Well, I think we've kind of made our positions known. All three of us.
We covered it.
But Dave kind of jumped the gun on the shot take. So Kenneth, you have one to add?
I got one. All right,
throw one out there.
Shot take for you guys. So the news of the day is Cam Newton, right? Let's go a different Cam.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh, David,
I love it, Kenneth. Go for it. I want you. I'm so ready for this.
Mm-hmm. My shot take of the day is Cam Newton will not start week 1 in New England. There's no way. I think Stidham is the man. Cam Newton can't even read the playbook, much less institute it by week 1.
What?
You're talking about a former Heisman winning, former MVP,
Super
of the
Bowl
league.
playing.
Yeah, Super Bowl playing, and he's not going to win out a battle.
He can't read the playbook.
No, dude, you're.
No, it's not that he can't read. I'm saying that he's too busy dressing up in all these fancy clothes and putting his hat on backwards or whatever, these beautiful hats and these nice juicy suits.
Hey, I will say this. I will say he's very contrasting to Bill Belichick's style. That's for
no,
sure.
I agree with that. Like,
I also agree that he won't be a New England Patriot in 2021.
Yeah,
Well,
I
he
mean,
only has a 1-year deal,
yeah, it's a 1-year deal.
and it's an
Who
incentive
signs a
deal.
quarterback to a 1-year deal and says, you know what, this is my guy?
They want to know, and the reason they don't know is because he's coming off some.
Don't you think that they know that he was an MVP, that a Heisman?
Yeah, but they also know that
and
he's
all these other
been
things. They know all that, and they're like, that doesn't mean anything to me.
His injury record over the last 2 years has been extremely problematic. They are going to want to see that he can hold up under the rigors of an NFL season, and if he can, and he performs even remotely close
The
to
most he can make is $7 million.
They will re-sign
That's his incentive-based contract. Where does that put him? I think it rates him like 34th or something amongst quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Hey, is Jameis Winston making more than that on the bench?
I guarantee it.
Yeah, he is. So, if that were hammered or jacked, I would jack that thing out of the ballpark because it's the worst take I've ever heard.
No, book it, man.
Okay, well, you're that's the whole point of shot takes is you're firing one out there, and I think you definitely fired that one out there. So,
I'm not a fan of Cam Akers.
I love it.
Or Cam Newton.
I you know what? We're not here to make cold takes, man. This is hot take. This is shot takes, man. Let's
shot
go.
takes, baby.
all right, well,
What do you got, Chad?
I'll take a shot take as well. Mine's definitely a little less spicy than the
I'm full of
nuclear
myself.
bomb that Kenneth just dropped. But,
Cam might as well not even show up for practice.
right?
It won't cost him very much if he doesn't.
So here's mine, guys. Let me get a swig.
Hey, what kind of cup is that, Chad?
It's a different kind of football.
Oh God,
The Arsenal.
So for our UK listeners that we're picking up on the pod downloads and on the website,
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? We got some UK listeners. We're really proud of that.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So my shot take is going to be Brandon Cooks. So new home in Houston here, close to me.
All right.
And I'm going to go ahead and say that Brandon Cooks will emerge as the number one target for Deshaun Watson. Obviously that's not that spicy of a take.
No, I like it.
But I think he'll finish in the top 15 wide receivers this year.
Woo! Now we're getting spicy.
Yeah, so I'll spice it up a little bit
Did you
with
say
that.
top 15? I'm sorry. Did you say top 15?
Top 15
top
receivers.
I think he's going to be a high-end wide receiver too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Deshaun Watson's number one target's always been a wide receiver one.
Somebody's got to catch the ball down
I
there.
don't think it's that crazy now that I think about it. When you first listen to it or when you first hear that, you're like, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
But actually, when you think about it,
think about the value on that kid right now. Look where he's going in drafts.
He could be a league winner if that's true.
Now, I'm not saying he's, Hopkins, but he will be. He is the best receiver on that team, and so and I'll tell you,
You think he's better than the rest? All those guys?
What you mean, Fuller?
Yeah, Fuller,
Kiki Kuti, and whoever the hell.
I don't think he's better than Will Fuller.
He's better than Will Fuller. Plus, you know what?
They're different. It's a whole different type of receiver. So, you have to think about. And Fuller, he can't stay healthy.
Will Fuller's a one-trick pony, and I'll tell you, Will Fuller is always hurt. And you know what? He can run fast. Okay, good. That's it.
Important.
Yeah.
That's why we keep talking about those 40 speeds. Chad, I like your take, Chad.
Will Fuller is
I think that I'm going to
best ball guy.
I might actually target Cooks now. Okay, so Chad, where do you think where do you think he should be going in a dynasty draft?
Where
would you take him? I know where you're saying the top 15. So But you wouldn't draft him as a top 15 because the value wouldn't be there.
You don't
right?
have to.
That's
Yeah.
the point.
But I think where he's going now, I think is, you're looking 8, 9, I think, somewhere in there. And I think
ninth round. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
you pick him up in the, you pick him up in the 7th, you're still getting a deal, hell of a deal. So like, I think, and he's been there every time. Like, I mean, every draft that I've been in so far, like he's slipping that far. And
Actually, I have him going in the 7th round.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Wow. That's what is that, around 80th, 85th or something like that? That's
around his ADP is around 79.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I like it, Chad. Good
there
one.
you go.
Hey guys, I don't know if y'all know this, but we ran a contest for the entire month of June. As you know, we're a young company and we really need support from you guys, especially if you like what we're saying and if you're enjoying the shows. Basically what we did was all you had to do
silliness,
was
but we got some legitimacy.
Well, we have legitimacy. I mean, we're growing like crazy. It's actually amazing to me how we're growing. But either way, we ran the contest. All you had to do was go in and submit your email on HammerCast.com to join the Hammer Nation. It was that easy. We're not asking for a lot of stuff. That's all. We just want you to, give us some feedback. So anyway, so we ran a contest for all of our subscribers through the month of June, and we ran this right before the show. And the way I did it was I said, okay, I had a randomizer. And I said, on the 5th time, whatever that number comes up is who the winner will be. It's a Todd Gurley signed jersey. I'm sending it to you. The HammerCast network is sending it to you free of charge. You take it, you frame it, whatever you want. It also comes with a certificate of authenticity, so you know that it's true. Everything we do is like that.
Came from pristine auction.
It did. So we came up with, it ended up being number 85. It was number 85 of our subscribers. Chad, you want to announce the winner?
Yeah. So based on that, we kind of looked at how it's based on how you guys entered your emails and the time that you did so. And so the 85th person that entered their email and subscribed to the HammerCast network was Jessica Hale 9. So Jessica Hale, Hale, the number 9 is the handle in front of your email address. So Jessica, congratulations on the signed talk.
Winner.
That's cool.
Dinner. Jessica. So here's how you're gonna get your signed jersey. I want you to email me personally. Well, it's the business. It's hammercastnetwork@gmail.com. Okay. Of course, anybody can email me questions or anything. But Jessica, if you will email me that, we'll get it to you as soon as we can. We do have to put a time limit on it, so please email me in the next 48 hours, and we'll make sure you get it. And so happy that you won.
Way to go, Jessica! Thank you for being a part of
it means a lot to
the Hammer
us.
Nation.
And stay tuned for the July giveaway. I think you're going to love it. We'll announce that right on our website at hammercast.com, and we'll have a new giveaway.
Put it out on Twitter and all that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do we have any parting thoughts, guys, before we wrap this episode up?
No, I think I beat Cam Akers to death. I
think I beat him.
But I'm just going to say it. My closing shot is he's really, really good, and he's way better than people are taking him. And you're gonna be really happy if you get this guy. Trust me.
All right, you'll be happy in 2021. Chad, do you have any other thoughts?
I'm just going to say that I think there's value there with this particular player, and he's being undervalued at the moment. While I may not be as fully on board the hype train as Dave is, I'm definitely not in the back of the train where you are, Kenneth. So
I can't wait to follow up on this show.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It'll be great. So, yeah.
I love it, guys. If you're in a dynasty draft, my thought is go with these guys. But if you're in a redraft league, 7th round, pick him up. He might play in your flex spot. He's not going to be relevant this year. That's my guess. Anyway, hey guys, I love you very much. We all do. Thank you so much for joining us. This is such a fun thing for us to do, and we hope you get a little value out of it. And we have a lot more coming. Stay tuned from our From the Pit segment. We got some really cool stuff. Stay tuned. You're going to love it. Thank you so much.
Just in time for the 4th of July.
Yep, that's right. We'll catch you next time. Thanks, guys.
Did you get all that? If not, make sure you head over to HammerCast.com, subscribe, and join the Hammer Nation. Until next time, keep grinding.